Enzo, Chook here with Chook's Outdoor Adventures. Well, it saddens me to do this video because I've always been a Glock 10mm guy. For over a decade now, the Glock 20 has been my go-to weapon for the woods. I have here my Glock 20 with the GS holsters, fit for a light, Kydex chest holster. The gun is safe. There's nothing in the magazine. This has been my go-to gun, and I'm very sad to say that I believe that's going to change with the advent of all these new 10mm being released. It started with the XDM line. Now we've got the new M&P 10mm. They did have some problems, but some of them are actually really good. And then the new XDMs, and finally the Sig X10. I just don't think Glock can keep up with these triggers and barrels. I really don't. You know, I'm a guy that shoots these horrible Glock triggers low and to the left. Now, I could mitigate that with a lot of practice and dry fire practice, which I really need to, admittedly. But those match flat face triggers in the new X10 and the new XDMs are just so amazing that just right, you know, typically people make fun of me because I hit 60% of my steel with my Glock. When I'm shooting that SIG, especially that XDM, I'm hitting 100% of my shots on steel. Those triggers just make such a difference. They're so amazing. Plus, you've got the rifled barrels in these new 10mm that can take hard cast ammunition, and that's what you want for bear defense out in the woods. You really want to be able to shoot hard cast without modifying your gun. Now, I was going to get this cut for an RMR, get a KKM barrel. This is just a stock Glock 40 barrel. But now I'm thinking, why do that when my XDM 4.5 is so perfect? It's got the barrel I want. Those XDMs have been torture tested. They're just as reliable as Glocks, and it's got that amazing match trigger, that meta trigger that helps me just shoot so amazing. It's really sad, but Glock needs to catch up with the times. Where are the Gen 5 10mm? 2 years ago, people were saying that they were coming out. I've had a lot of viewers telling me that they're coming out. It never happened. Then I started hearing that they were having problems with the Gen 5 platform and the high pressure of the 10mm cartridge. It just wasn't reliable. Now I'm starting to believe that. I mean, Glock has been able to stay on top with their military and law enforcement contracts, but that is changing. Today we have an environment where SIG is winning a lot of the contracts. You know, they got the big military one, and people want the red dots. I just don't think Glock is going to be able to keep up. It's just so frustrating that they are not innovating like these other companies. You know, they'll put a new model out. Oh, we've got front side serrations now. That's the only change. Even if they do put out a Gen 5 10mm MOS, which I think people would stand behind because there's a lot of Glock guys like me that just think Glock is the most reliable. But even if they do put out the Gen 5s, the Gen 5 trigger is still pretty horrendous compared to these new flat face match triggers that are coming out in these other 10mm. So Glock is just falling behind on the curve. So please, Glock, do some innovation, put some new stuff out, because I can't imagine that this is not hurting them. Even with all the worldwide contracts they have, these other companies are just putting out some amazing products. And with time, I don't think Glock is going to be able to keep up. So the least they could do is release the Gen 5 10mm, get those up and running with the MOS plate, and people will buy those. But if they don't do that, I'm seeing the industry turn away from this, and it makes me sad. But these new 10mm that are coming out are just amazing. I'm pitting the X10 versus the new XDM 4.5 OSP this Friday in my video. You might be surprised by which one I picked with that, but it's just an amazing time to be a 10mm fan. But Glock really needs to step up their game. I know a lot of people are still going to stand behind them. Chime in the comments what you think. Unfortunately, I've already made up my mind. GS Holsters is already designing a new holster for my 4.5-inch XDM with the red dot with the light, and that's going to be my new woods carry, just because of that trigger and that barrel and my ability to shoot hard cast ammo accurately with that trigger. I hate to say it, that's what I'm switching to. That's what it looks like is going to happen. So chime in what you guys think. I appreciate you watching. please check out my website, chuksoutdoor.com. Support me on my Amazon store if you can, and I'll see you guys soon. Chuk, your friend in the field.
My name is Chuk. I like to trade my guns just for fun, but now I have none. Oh, look, get shot by a bear, but I don't care. I got a 10mm. Chuk's Outdoor Adventures. Watch you all die every time.